Hey guys, let's talk about the difference between a drag angle in relation to travel and a push angle in relation to travel with MIG welding. So a drag angle is going to give you a little bit different profile than a push angle. A drag angle, where you're directing all that heat into the weld pool and also the wire into the weld pool, is going to give you a higher, more narrow bead. Whereas a push angle in relation to travel is going to give you a wider, flatter bead. Okay, so a lot of people prefer that push angle because it gives them a better appearance to their weld, but it may not necessarily give you as good a penetration as a drag angle. So sometimes a push angle is a good choice for thinner materials such as sheet metal, whereas if you want to get a little bit more penetration and a larger bead, sometimes it's a better choice to have a drag angle. So let's take a look in terms of running a few beads and what that looks like. All right, so for this bead, we're not going to do any type of oscillation. I'm just going to do a straight drag bead across. So our travel angle will be about 20 degrees off of 90. So if this is 90 degrees, we're going to come about 20 degrees off of that. And then we're just going to drag, trying to keep the weld pool a consistent size throughout. All right, here we go. All right, so now I'm going to run a straight push angle bead right next to this other one with no oscillation at the same settings, so hopefully we'll see a difference in the two beads. All right, here we go. All right, so we can see with the drag angle here that we have a slightly more convex bead and a little higher profile, whereas the push angle, we have a slightly more flat profile to the bead, but we also get a little bit more spatter. All right, so we've seen a straight drag angle with no oscillation. Now I'm going to show you three different oscillation techniques. The first one I'm going to show you is just a slight whipping motion as we go along, just to agitate the weld pool a little bit. That's actually my favorite one. And then I'll also show you a W with just a slight pause on the top toe, which will give you a slightly larger bead. And then also the last one I'll show you is a cursive E, which is real popular as well. All right, so here we go for the back and forth whip motion. All right, next is a up and down W motion with just a slight pause on the top toe. And finally, we're going to do a cursive E motion as we go across the plate. Here we go. All right, so here are the three techniques. We have the forward and back whip motion as we go through, which gives us a slightly smaller bead. But the nice thing about this one is that it always stays in the root of the joint. Then this is our W's with the slight pause at the top. Got a little off on the profile here, but you can see this gives us a wider bead and overall another acceptable profile. The third is the cursive E's, which gives us a nice wide bead. But the cursive E, the only problem with this is that we kind of overlap where we just welded, so we don't spend a lot of time in the root of the joint, but overall gives us a nice appearance to the bead. So those are the three different techniques that are very common.